Aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, and friends, make sure to hit the like button when you come in. Replay Queen. You know, one thing's for certain and two things for sure. When I want to chat, I'm going to chat. I know it's a few lives going on. Dehan was ending his live not too long ago, but I wanted to chat and get this out, and I'm not going to be on too long. I would say maybe about a hot 20. But I wanted to get this on with the me being the replay queen. So for those that are going to catch it, we can have a conversation below about it because I really wanted to talk about this. So, ways to support the channel. My Cash App is pinned below. Can also send super stickers and buy me a coffee. I don't know about the link. I'll find it eventually. And also like and subscribe. Really, 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 really helps the channel. And it's free. So I would appreciate that type of support. But I wanted to get this out again. When you're catching the replay, we can have a conversation in the comments if you're in other lives and doing all that other stuff. So with Drake and Kendrick, I watched the Super Bowl, of course, and then I watched the halftime performance, but I've been tuned in and listening to, everything that's going on. And for those that don't know, I am a hip hop. I love hip hop. I love the culture. I love the rap beefs. And Kendrick and Drake took me back to Cannabis and LL Cool J. A lot of people don't know Cannabis because you haven't heard of him again. He stopped making music. But Second Round KO, if you guys don't know that track, go back and listen to it from years ago. Listen to Second Round KO by Cannabis, Canibus. I don't know if it's two N's. I think it might just be one. Listen to Second Round KO. He finished LL Cool J in that lyrically. However, LL Cool J had more, of the ladies' presence. He was, ladies love Cool J. He went on to do movies and etc. But make no mistake, Cannabis finished LL Cool J lyrically with the Second Round KO. I still listen to that track, me being a hip hop lover, and I think Second Round KO is like one of the hardest diss tracks compared to the other two I'm about to mention. Thanks, Mr. Terry, with the copyright disclaimer, period. So, with Kendrick and Lamar. So it took me back to LL Cool J versus Cannabis. And then I was like, well, wait, we had a few others, and it brought me to Nas and Jay-Z. Everyone knows that Jay-Z lyrically, you can't take that from him. Nas, you can never take that away from him. But me being a hip hop lover, I think that Nas bodied LL Cool J with Ether. Ether again is one of the hardest diss tracks I think that you will ever hear. And it was just a great battle back and forth. However, Jay-Z being Jay-Z went on to do other things. Nas is still very successful in his own right. But again, lyrically, he bodied Jay-Z with Ether, which brings me to Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma. Now, Remy Ma doesn't have Nikki's following. She didn't have the backing behind her, etc., etc. However, if you are a fan of hip hop, Shether bodied Nicki Minaj. My opinion, you don't have to agree when it comes to battles. Remy Ma bodied Nicki Minaj with Shether. However, she should have stopped there because she made another diss track after that, which in my opinion was whack. She could have just left it alone with Shether, but she bodied Nicki Minaj when it came to Shether, my personal opinion. So Kendrick and Drake, Jay-Z lost his passion for, yo, Mr. Terry, tell me about it. I feel like, and Jay-Z has even admitted that Ether stung him like no other because he thought that in his diss track, when he admitted that he was sleeping with Nas's chick, that was going to, be the, who. But Nas came with Ether. And you know what? I don't know if it was Drink Champs that I was watching or something maybe with Irv Gotti. It was revealed that during that time, Nas was either he had just lost his mom or he was like dealing with the grief of losing his mom. So lyrically, and to get in that space, he was somewhere else. I think Ether was the epitome of like puck around and find out, because if he had just lost his mom, that wasn't the time to be playing with that man. So that makes sense to me. But I literally just watched that. I don't know if it was a Drink Champs or who said it. I think it was Irv Gotti. Rest in peace to him, by the way. Don't quote me, but I think Irv Gotti gave that little hip hop fact. So um Period, Mr. Terry. She had to do a whole track with, the crew, but make no mistake, Remy Ma bodied her. So when it comes to Kendrick and Drake, I gotta be honest. I think that Kendrick stung Drake to the point where it's gonna take a very hot track to have to come back. And I don't like, because I don't like to jump on the wave of like doing what everybody does. That's never been my style, so to say. So I can't totally turn my back on Drake, but I've never been a Drake fan. I'll never go to a Drake concert. Nothing of the sort. But I have to give credit to where it's due. He has made a lot of great hits. I'll give him that. But it got to a point in time for me listening to him. It was just like, oh, here come this dude with the singing, whining, crying again. After a while, I feel like his style of music, Drake became repetitive and redundant. Like everything just sounded the same with Drake. And over time, and then the radios flooded. It's like you couldn't escape. It's like Drake, Drake, Drake. But again, Drake made some hits. I'll give that man that. But there was a lot of times when Drake lyrically, when he would, rhyme about being like the tough guy, where it's just like, you know what, dude, I don't believe you. And nothing's wrong with not being the tough guy. I don't know why some men feel like you have to do that. There's a lot of people out here that would have dated the not tough guy, like Steve Urkel. To me, that would have been my man. You know what I mean? Good credit, can build something up, can turn me into a whole nother person. You know what I mean? So with Drake, when he tries to go in tough guy mode, that irritates me because that's not him. So it's just, I'm not saying I dislike Drake, but I'm just not a fan. But I give credit to where it's due. I have several of his songs in my playlist, the ones that are hot, you know what I mean? But I've never been a fan. But with Kendrick, when it comes to Not Like Us, the reason why I think this track is so problematic is because it's not a diss track to where you'll only hear underground. It's a diss track that makes people dance, which I feel like that is so dangerous because yikes. Hey, Mate. Yes, mine's too, because baby, that nerd could do some things that would make my mind say, well, okay. Mr. Terry says before the Kendrick and Drake beef back in 2018, Drake paid WS a twat. Pusha T's did track because he surpassed Drake's diss. I don't respect him as an artist. That part, which is gonna get me into his lawsuit against the record label or company for with the diss track. That's it just shows your character and you're a sore loser. Even Jay-Z was man enough to admit, yo, Nas with Ether, that stung. I feel like Drake is a sore loser and he was used to, always winning and being that guy, and no one would want to come against Drake, so to say, because he is the mainstream artist. But Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, is such a different type of diss track. It's not a Sheether, it's not a Ether, it's not a Cannabis second round knockout. It's something that you can dance to. That's a whole nother level of puck around and find out. People are crip walking to it. You got people of different nationalities singing it. That type of diss track, I'm gonna say that the key word is diabolical. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what makes that track so just gutter, because not only am I saying screw you, but I'm gonna make people dance to it at the same token. Kendrick did his big one on that. Like and I think that like Drake to have to come back, and he's been taking time out. Like Drake tried to come back with a little song after that, and then we heard the scutterbutt with the lawsuits, and I just feel like that makes him look like a really, really sore loser. That's why BBL Drizzy can never be declared the queen of rap. Period, Mr. Terry. Let me pin that. Like, I feel like it makes him look like such a sore loser to not be able to say, like, yo, he got me. Like, you literally responded with a lawsuit and then you kind of like, left the country. Now, listen, I'm all for style. I love it. Fashionista. I'll wear. Can you guys still hear me? Can y'all hear me still? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me because my phone rang. Okay, cool. So with Drake, I was going into fashion. Like, listen, no disrespect to anyone who does their thing, but Drake reached a point where I was like, okay, this is a little bit weird for me with the nail polish and like the barrettes in the hair. Where I'm just like, okay, I can't take you serious when you're a gangster, when you try to rap tough. Not the love songs like the, baby, you my everything, you the best. Like those songs, I feel like would be more appropriate when you wear barrettes and paint your nails. But when you try to get gangster, it's very weird because then I see these photos of you making duck lips with nail polish and barrettes. I don't know, and hair clips. Listen, to each his own. I'm sure there's women out there that love that. I'm not one of them. I would never want my man in barrettes and ballies. I think that's weird. But hey, to each his own. Get it how you live. If that's sexy to you and that's how you like your men's, okay. She's not one of them. I will never do that. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss J. What up, Super Unk? So when it comes to Drizzy, it was just like little weird stuff like that I was seeing where it's like, wait a minute, how did we get to barrettes and hair clips? You can't be talking about how you gonna, do something to a ninja in barrettes. That's weird to me. That's very weird to me. Being a 90s hip hop lover, I don't there I don't know this new wave of that. So that's where I kind of I was like, I don't know about you, Drake. You know what I mean? Like it was just weird to me. And take it back to Ice Cube's No Vaseline. NWA's manager Jerry Heller tried to brand him as anti. Period, Mr. Terry. You know your rap beefs. But I feel like this one with Kendrick and Drake, this is one for the books. And even though Drake is not man enough to admit it, maybe it's the barrettes, I don't know. Drake will never admit that Kendrick literally stung him in his career and have people looking at him differently. And a lot of people are just like, aha. So I'm not gonna laugh at him. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not, you know because I never would want someone to do it to me. But I would say I would respect Drake more if he was honest enough to say, yo, he got me. Or like do a handshake like a man to man, because it should never be that serious, unless they legitimately hate each other. Kendrick being a Gemini, I think he just does not like Drake. Personal opinion, that level of snap is when you don't, as a Gem, he don't like him. My opinion, I'm sticking to it. But it would be nice if it was just like, listen, dude, you got me with that. Which he did. Not only did he get him with that, he got him with several other tracks, but Not Like Us is so genius because it's also a dance track. It's something that you could hear in the club. I've never heard like a diss track where people are crip walking and doing the Tootsie Roll to. Ether, that's a head bop. Sheether, head bop. Cannabis, second round knockout, head bop. But Kendrick got you dancing and doing a Tootsie Roll while he dissing somebody else. He's on a whole nother level. He's on a whole nother level. In my personal opinion, I think Kendrick Lamar is the party that has finally stung Drake's career in his run of being the hit after hit guy. Because even his responses and diss tracks and video that he put out, people weren't feeling. They weren't feeling. Drake had a heck of a run, and not saying that he can't come back now with something hot. I'm sure he might team up with Nicki or whatever, and they do something. Lil Wayne seemed like he keeping his distance because he probably know that, yo, my dude, the golden boy, because we, Young Money, they had a hell of a run. No one's ever really stung him. And I feel like Nicki got stung first with Sheether, and her songs after that has kind of been lackluster, my personal opinion. Nicki Minaj hasn't made a hot track in quite some time. She said Safari wasn't writing for her. He then said it. I think some money possibly was exchanged because I will say this, her music was different when they were in a relationship. Maybe he's lying, maybe she's lying, maybe it wasn't supposed to get out. All I'm saying is someone that listens to music, I see the difference in what was put out when she was with him versus without. I don't know what she's doing now. I don't know a hot Nicki Minaj song that's on the radio or actually a really hot one that's been out since Remy Ma came with Cheether. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Granted, she has one hell of a support system. I don't know what happened to. I'm so sick of this no sound stuff and doing all of this. This is weird. That must be my cue. Miss J says Nikki sucks and her thinking she is the greatest female rapper. Okay, so Miss J, I feel like I need to have just another Nicki Minaj live because Nikki being a 40 something year old woman, I do not like her behavior. I don't like how she Nikki needs to be a whole nother conversation because I feel like Nikki needs to understand you are gifted, you are talented, you have made a lot of money, and nobody's trying to take that away from you. But please don't try to take it away from other people. Like she gives off mean girl, and I just don't like that for her. So it makes me kind of keep my distance. But again, she's another one where I can't front. She's had ton of hits lyrically. Hey, I gotta give it to her. I feel like Nicki Minaj on the Monster track, she literally bodied Jay-Z and Kanye. Her verse on that track, the pink hair, whiplash, give him like, yo, she went in. So I'll never take that away from her, but her attitude is kind of like a little standoffish to me. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be on long. Catch the replay for those that like hip hop and like having these conversations. I will end it by saying I definitely think that Kendrick Lamar stung Drake's career, and I also think that Drake is a sore loser. And I would respect him much more if he simply gave Kendrick his props. But I will continue to do my shimmy and 1 2 with Not Like Us. My young daughter likes it, and it's just one of those songs that make you dance. It that makes you dance, and it just so happens to also be a diss track, which is why I think that will forever go down in history. People might not see it now, but I feel like Kendrick and Drake, this is one for the books as far as hip hop beefs, and it is one for the culture. And I am here for it because Kendrick gave me life with hit after hit when he was going back and forth with Drizzy Drake. So hopefully Drake can bounce back from that. Personally, I think he's stung. I don't like the barrettes and the direction he was going. He does have some talent. I just hope he finds his way again and kind of stick to just being who you are instead of trying to be the tough guy because it's not you. And I don't believe you, sir. But it's okay to not be the tough guy. Just chill out, homie. So I should. Me and my daughter, Tay, we should, because we be dancing in the house to it, and we always making TikToks that I don't post. She just had me do one. We did a TikTok the other day to something, so we just might. I love you, my Tay babe. Haven't seen a good diss track like this since Pac and Biggie. Miss J, don't get me started on that, cause honey, Baby, I love a good hip hop beef where you get to see lyrically where people are and get some good hip hop music for the culture. So this had me in my feels. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar for doing rocking the halftime show. Shout out to Kendrick for all of the success with that. I'm happy for the brother. But also shout out to Drake too for being successful and having a great run. But hopefully he'll be man enough to admit that Kendrick definitely stung him because people like myself can see it. So as always, y'all, stay true to you. Make sure to support the channel. And there's many different ways, like, subscribe, whatever. Just support because I appreciate it and I love you deeply. I'll see y'all later. Peace and love. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Chatty, my Brick City sister, Newark, New Jersey. Yes, 18th of Columbia. I didn't know you do lives. It was everything. I love it. I do, baby. We got to do one together. We got to do one together. Make sure I want to pin this comment so I can see and make sure I follow. But yes, you will always next time come up and let's do another and do a little chat. I love a fellow Jersey girl. So listen, stay true to you. Make sure y'all listen to some good hip hop music. Stay sucker free. And stay away from men in barrettes. You know what I'm saying? Later, y'all.